That's the field dropping breadcrumbs saying, keep going. And there's a synchronization between that person's energy and their future, and the side effect of that are signs. And that's when it gets to be exciting, because every sign does what? It creates an enthusiasm, an excitement. You're kind of going, hey, there's another sign, I'm gonna go do it again. Now, you're not going, oh, I have to meditate today. Oh, geez, I gotta create my life. Like, I don't want the magic to stop happening. I'm gonna get into it. And every synchronicity creates that elevated emotion, and you use that energy for the next creation, and people climb out of their lives, climb out of their past. You keep working for the present moment, you are going to develop the habit of being present. And if where you place your attention is where you place your energy, and you're in the present moment, you got a lot of energy to use. You got a lot of energy to execute. You got a lot of energy to design a destiny with.
When you understand that you cannot get abundant, it's about the game called change. The more I change, the more I'll be abundant. Then it's no longer how come it hasn't happened. That's the old personality from the experience still in lack asking that question, which is reaffirming it because that's the lens you're perceiving it through. The word meditation means to become familiar with. Sit with yourself long enough. Just sit and close your eyes and watch the thoughts that come up. That's the exact reason why you're not abundant. Sit with the lack and be curious on what's on the other side of it, because the body's programmed into lack now subconsciously. The emotion of lack drives our thoughts and drives our behaviors. So it makes sense that if an emotion is a record of the past, then we're doing things habitually from the past, thinking in the past.
Every thought produces a chemical, so if they have an unhappy thought, they feel unhappy. If they have a judgmental thought, it produces chemicals that makes you feel polarized. The stronger the emotions that we feel from the problems and conditions in our life, the more altered we feel inside of us, the more we pay attention to what's causing it outside of us. If you have an event in your life, an experience in your life that has a strong emotional charge to it, and you don't feel like your normal self, you feel this alarm system switch on. You're gonna narrow your focus on the cause, and the brain's gonna take a snapshot, and that's called a long-term memory. What people don't know is that every time they think about that event, they're producing the same chemistry in their brain and body as if the event was occurring. If thoughts are the electrical charge in the quantum field, and feelings are the magnetic charge in the quantum field, and how you think and how you feel broadcasts an electromagnetic signature that influences every single atom in your life. Thought sends a signal out, and the feeling is the magnetic field that draws the event back to you. If you're not in a place where you're in love with life, or in love with yourself, or practicing diminishing your emotional reactions to certain people or conditions in your life, and you're living in anger or hostility or judgment or fear, and you want a loving relationship, there is no magnetic field for you to draw that to you. The long-term effects of those stress hormones are pushing the genetic buttons that are creating disease. The person is making themselves sick by thought alone. Their thoughts are making them sick. Now the body is conditioned into the past, and it's the mind. The body becomes the mind emotionally. They'll say, I can't really feel joy. I can't really feel love. And what they're really saying is, I've been conditioning my body emotionally so much into the past that I can't feel anything else other than what I know. The survival chemicals are actually knocking your brain and body out of balance. You're out of balance in that moment. And if you keep doing that, the imbalance is now the new balance. And now you're altered emotionally.
A predictable future are emotionally conditioned into the past, and they're saying, I'm healthy, I'm healthy, I'm healthy, or I'm happy, and the body's going, you're miserable, you're unhappy. That thought can't even make it past the brainstem to the body. Then teaching people how to self-regulate, they have no idea when they started changing their emotional states, the amount of biological and energetic changes that take place within them and all around them. Then develop that skill and get really good at this. Then for the most part, you wouldn't be so interested in so many material things. You would be interested in facing off with yourself every day and asking, what is it that stands in the way between me and my future? What is it that stands in the way between me and my connection to the quantum field? I think that's the real question.
There's 2 times the door to the subconscious mind opens up. When we wake up in the morning and we go to bed at night, our brain waves go from delta to theta to alpha to beta and slide up this way, and then you're back to conscious awareness, local in space and time. When you go to bed at night, you go from beta to alpha to theta to delta, and you slide down. When we're in alpha, our analytical facilities are suppressed. We're in theta, we're in a hypnotic state. And the door between the conscious mind and the subconscious mind is wide open. What separates the conscious mind from the subconscious mind is the analytical mind. So as you suppress analytical facilities, you can program anybody to do anything.
Belief is just a thought you keep thinking over and over again. A belief is something that you keep thinking enough times that you hardwired in your brain and it becomes an automatic program. We have beliefs about all kinds of things: money, relationships, God, whatever it is. It's all based on what we've been told or our past experiences. Boundaries of those beliefs are our emotions. Let's just say you got betrayed and your father told you that money was bad and there's never enough of it. That's a story, but somehow it left an impression on you. Remember that event very clearly, and that's rooted in who you are. That emotion then is the boundary of our belief. How you think and how you feel creates your state of being. You take a thought and a feeling, a thought and a feeling, a thought and a feeling, a thought and a feeling. It's called an attitude. A series of good thoughts with a series of good feelings. You say, I have a good attitude today. You have a series of negative thoughts that are connected to a series of negative feelings. You say, I have a bad attitude today. Attitudes are just shortened states of being. Good attitude in the morning, bad attitude in the afternoon.
Consciousness is awareness. Awareness is paying attention and noticing. 95% of who we are by the time we're 35 years old is a set of unconscious automatic programs that we've just practiced so many times that we're not consciously thinking about those. In order for you to change, you got to become conscious of your unconscious thoughts. You got to start looking at those hardwired thoughts that you think every day that are just circuits that have been fired and wired together. You just have to sit down, close your eyes, and not move. And all you want to do is observe the thought. When you begin to observe that thought, you're no longer the program now. You're the consciousness observing the program, and you're starting to pull out of the program. Nobody likes to do that because it's uncomfortable. It's just whether you're willing to live in creation instead of living in survival.
The brain does not know the difference between the real life experience and what you're imagining. In fact, just a little bit of time, you start to install the neurological hardware to look like you already did it. The brain is no longer a record of the past, it's primed for the future. Keep doing it, keep rehearsing. No different than playing an instrument, no different than learning how to dance, no different than learning how to act or play a sport. Everybody's always rehearsing, right? The rehearsal process changes the brain to look like you've already done it, you've already experienced it. What's the essential part of that? The hardware is in place. All you gotta do is step into the footprint. Keep doing it, it becomes a software program. You start acting like an abundant person. Everything changes. Your energy changes, your mood changes, the way you walk, the way you breathe, your posture changes. You're out of the known. You gotta condition the body now emotionally into the future.
Where you place your attention is where you place your energy. Let's start learning how to lead with our heart, a different consciousness. In the beginning, it's a little difficult. Placing your attention there, you're putting your own life force into your heart. You're turning your love inward, and the body will start responding. And in a week's time, if we're doing that 3 times a day or over and over again, sooner or later, that thing's gonna start blooming. When you start feeling love, you make a chemical called oxytocin. Oxytocin signals nitric oxide. Nitric oxide signals a chemical called derived endothelial relaxing factor. It causes the arteries in your heart to literally open up. So your heart is going to be filled with blood and oxygen and nutrients. It's physiological. It's going to feel full. You're going to have a heart-on. And when that happens, you experience a level of love that passes all understanding. Anything in your life to change, if your environment is controlling your feelings and thoughts. And if your environment is controlling how you feel and think, and I say to you, Aubrey, why are you so upset today? Oh, this person is upsetting me. What you're really saying is that person is controlling your feelings and your thoughts, and that means you're a victim to your environment. Turn that around and you start realizing your feelings and thoughts create your environment. And you start seeing the effects of you at cause. You're going to react less to the people in your life because you're going to understand that you'll be back to the victim consciousness. And when you start seeing that you're creating outcomes in your life, you're going to believe more that you're the creator of your life and less the victim of your life. And I say, the more you practice it, the better you get at it.